important it is for you to maintain the security posture of your machine. Now, this is true regardless if you are a home user or you're in a business. So I'm going to start off with the first one, which is the Dell Quick Assist. Dell Quick Assist is the application that's on your Dell computer that allows a Dell technician to take control of your machine. So then that way they can as quickly assist you in resolving your issue, which goes back to the name Dell Quick Assist. But there's a problem, a major problem with this. And it's so major that there's an organization out there, CVE for short, that created 4 vulnerability CVE numbers that are associated with these vulnerabilities. And that CVE number is going to be CVE-2021-21571. Again, that's going to be CVE-2021-21571, 572, 573, and 574. So you can go look at the vulnerability there. But in short, what it's saying is an attacker can come in between your request to receive assistance from a Dell technician to help them or help you resolve an issue. The issue is once that person intercepts that request, they can impersonate that Dell technician, or they can just sit and wait for that communication to end, get back into your machine, and create an account on your computer, which allows them to take control of your machine. When they take control of your machine, well, guess what? You're no longer able to, you have no longer control of your machine, which which allows them to take control of your machine and do whatever they want to. And there's really not much you can do other than disconnect your computer. But once they take control of your computer, they can load any type of malicious software onto your machine, which allows them to come back later on and take control of your machine again once you reconnect to the internet. So the only real way to protect yourself on that one is to wipe your machine, especially if you don't know what you're doing, and if it's not being recognized by the antivirus software, remove it and then just restart fresh again. Hopefully that resolves it. But there again, those 4 vulnerabilities that is found with the Dell Quick Assist that again allows a user to lose control of the machine if they're asking for control. Now you can go to the Dell website and download the software or patch, if you will, that would get rid of this issue that's been created. So again, and just since I didn't say this at the beginning, this affects all versions of Dell machines, regardless if it's you purchased it last week, going back to a couple of years. So again, make sure you go to Dell website, look for any patches that they have to update to protect your system. So if you have any questions to that, please feel free to reach out to me. Be more than happy to help you in resolving this issue. The second one I'm going to talk about is the ransomware attack that you probably heard about. Now, this is believed to come from Russia with the REvil or REvil, however you want to pronounce it, a hacker group over there. And what they ended up doing was attacking a major IT company based out of Miami that, that did all types of maintenance, if you will, monitoring of people's systems, allowing smaller companies to take control of a business, if you will, and monitor their systems, manage your network, and ensure that everything is working right, and making sure that it continues to work right at a better rate than you bringing on a full IT person. So, because you're only paying for the time that the person for the IT that you need. But back to the attack here. So the ransomware did such a major damage that now that the hackers are asking for $70 million in order to resolve the issue that they created. Well, it's not an issue for them, it's an issue for us because of the fact that we have to fix that issue. The FBI and a lot of other organizations are out there working very diligently in order to figure out how to get the files back that was lost during this encryption of the data. It's very difficult to decrypt something if you don't know the key that was used to encrypt it in the first place. So it's very important that you work on maintaining the security of your system, because you want to make sure that when something like this happens, you want to prevent it from bringing you to a dead stop. And when I say work on the security of system, what can you do? What you need to do is back up your data at least once a week maximum. Or at a minimum, I should say, at a minimum once a week, back up your data, put it on something that is external, that doesn't have access to the internet. Or if you do back it up to the internet, make sure that you have a hard copy somewhere close to you, so then if you lose access to the internet, you will be able to get that information at a moment's notice. This is very true when it comes to dealing with in the medical field. You want to make sure that you have both your medical stuff in the cloud, and that you have your medical stuff on a hard drive, such as a passport like this right here. So then that way you'll be able to take your data with you wherever you go, just in case you may need it. Now, would I recommend you carry it with you? No. But if you're going to be doing traveling, if you're going to be going someplace where you're not quite positive, if you lose connectivity and you have everything out in the cloud and you don't have it on your local machine, you always want to have a spare. But if you're going to do that, make sure you have an additional one so you can have it at the house. Make sure you have it encrypted just in case it is stolen or you lose it. The third item I'm going to cover will be the print nightmare with Microsoft. Now, this is a very critical vulnerability that's been found within Microsoft. And this vulnerability gives the attacker the ability to take control of your machine. And when I say take control of the machine, it's just like what I was saying before with the Dell Quick Assist. This allows the attacker to get in there, create an account with full privileges of your machine to do whatever it is that they want to do. Now, there are two ways to fixing this, and the easiest one is to do run the Windows update. Now, if you don't run that Windows update automatically, just know that every Tuesday, when Windows have something called, well, we call it in the tech world Patch Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, Microsoft sends out the latest and greatest in the patches to make sure that your system stays secure. Now, I have a few clients here, and I spent the past couple of days just going through there and forcing the updates to take place, noticing that the patch was never implemented, mainly because it has to pass the patch Tuesday, and then sometime you may have your schedule set to where your patches aren't implemented until a couple of days later. So I'm pushing out these patches to my clients, finding out that they weren't protected. But after doing a lot more research, I found out that the patch that Microsoft had put out isn't fixing the issue. So that leaves my client still in a vulnerable state. And unfortunately, the second fix I can't implement because of the fact that it prevents them from printing. So the second fix is to disable the print spooler on your computer. If you don't do anything that requires you to print, you need to disable that function. And just let you know, it is a service on Microsoft Windows. Very simple. You go to your services, find print spooler, right click on it, and go down to disable it, which will prevent this vulnerability from propagating into an actual issue. But the thing is, if you're printing, you need that. So you're kind of stuck in a catch-22. Do you turn off the print spooler so then you'll be protected, or do you leave it on where you had a vulnerability, but you'll be able to print? So that's just a really hard decision to make. Do you turn it off or do you leave it on? So you just have to determine what it is that you want to do and what is more important. But with that said, I can be reached at 844-722-5389. Again, 844-722-5389. And I'll be more than happy to assist you with any issues that you may have when it comes to any IT, or you have any questions to that effect. At this time, if there are any questions, please bring them forth.
for, say, leisure. But there's a couple of things that you brought to my attention. Now, why did Dell come up with this assistant? What was the purpose of that?
Great question. So a lot of times when you're, or in my case, when I'm working with a lot of people, they have no true understanding of how a computer works. And there are specific things that I'm looking for when I'm assisting a person with any IT issues that contact me. And I find it easier to just take control because I can quickly get in there and see the issue as it's happening and be able to resolve the issue in a timely manner, or at least tell them up front, look, this issue is a lot more complex and this is not anything that can be fixed in a 5 minute time period. It's going to take an hour or so. And I need to be able to see this, and that person may have something else to do. So it's really as a way to help the tech to see exactly what the person talking about because they may not explain it correctly, and then it also gives an ability to resolve that issue.
Now, before Dell had this assistant, wasn't there something called Team View that allowed the tech to take control of your computer and then work on it? Why did Dell feel that they needed to do Dell Assistant when there was already Team View that could do the same thing?
Well, the Dell Quick Assist actually came out long before TeamViewer. TeamViewer is relatively new compared to Dell Quick Assist. Um, so that right there is why. I mean, just a little history on that. The Like I said, the Dell Quick Assist came out before that. But why would you want to do that? Because the thing is, you want to have full control over the technology. Because hey, you might decide, you might forget to pay the bill one day for TeamViewer, and now you can't now you can't get into the machine. But if you own the technology, then hey, you can get in whenever, and there's no limitation on it.
Now, what is the difference between malware and ransomware?
So, malware, in short, is malicious software that is installed on your machine with or without your knowledge. And when I say with or without your knowledge, meaning you can actually go to a website and download something knowing that it's bad piece of software. And a malicious code can do anything from steal your data, send data out to places, destroy your machine, create issues. Which all depends on whatever the creator decides they want to do. But ransomware is software that gets onto your machine and encrypts your data, making it where you can't use it. And so you have to pay a ransom, just like the name implies, to a person or organization. So then that way they give you the key to decrypt that data.
Okay, so with the ransomware, you know that it's on your machine because you can't use it. Now, with the malware, how do you know sometimes? What are some of the signs to look for to tell that that's already on your machine?
Well, that's a very difficult question to answer, and it's mainly because a lot of times you never know it.
Okay.
They are very stealthy. They're made not to use a lot of resources unless it's something where they just turn around and just decide we don't care what the performance of this looks like. We just want to go in there and create issues. But if you do notice, you might notice your mouse might jump around the screen. Doesn't mean that someone has control of it. It just means that the process is being utilized and it's preventing your mouse from moving fluently across your screen. You might have slowness on applications. You may notice a lag um, um, when you open up an application. If you know how to use the task manager, you may actually see your processor being at 100%, or your hard drive at 100%, or your memory being used at a higher rate.
Okay, now if I'm a business person, how often should I contact a guy like you? Or is it best to just go ahead on and get on some kind of plan with you? Because you brought a lot of key points about things that can happen, and for a layperson, we would have no idea really. So, what is your recommendation for the kinds of services that you offer that a small business would want to take advantage of?
So when it comes to IT, you want to have someone that's going to be there watching your back in terms of IT. My clients really only need me when there's something that's broke. But in the background, I'm always monitoring their systems for anything that's intrusive that could cause a problem. And a perfect example would be the Dallas Quick Assist, the ransomware, the malicious software, the Print Nightmare. The Print Nightmare was a last minute deal, and they did not know that that was going on. And by having me on call, I'm here to be able to resolve those issues. So to answer your question a lot more specifically, it's really when you need me is when you'll call me. But in the background, I'm monitoring your systems and making sure that everything is running the way that it needs to run. Um, um, just real quick, one of my clients is running an antivirus software that talks directly with the firewall called Sophos. These two work in tandem, which means if the antivirus notices there's a virus on there, it'll inform the firewall, which will in turn disconnect that machine from the network, preventing that machine from infecting all of the other machines on that network. Now, what Sophos has done, they have created rules and patches to put onto the antivirus software and the firewall, which will help prevent anybody from using the vulnerability in the Print Nightmare vulnerability that is found in Microsoft. So my client here is very happy in the sense that he has nothing really to do in that regards because now he knows he's safe. But I'm just an added layer of protection now because I'm going in there and making sure all of his machines are covered. I found two of his machines was not protected, which was great. Now he's again from the perspective of these Sophos, he's protected from that regard. Again, the patch that Microsoft put out with is completely utterly useless, but I still went through there and I ran the other checks and stuff. So he's pretty good. So now, like I said, you need to make sure that I mean, they have me on there as a extra additional extra layer of protection that monitors their network while they are able to focus on their networks. I mean, focus on their business.
Whoa. Okay. So now we've got just a few seconds left. How do we get in contact with you again?
Sure. So if you have any IT questions or if you just want to um, explore the possibility of having my company come in there and monitor and maintain your network, no matter if it's just your one machine or you have 200 machines. It really doesn't matter. It's really all about being able to manage and monitor your network. Um, if to get in contact with me, I can be reached at 844-722-5389. Again, that is 844-722-5389. Or you can send me an email at samuel.brown@packet-ex.com. That again is samuel.brown@packet, that's PACKET hyphen ex.com, and I'll be more than willing and happy to discuss with you about any of the technology that we have to protect your systems and or bring us on board to be your managed service provider to protect your system, allow you to manage your business.
All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you something that you may or may not know. Now, Mr. Samuel Brown is a modest guy, and he doesn't like to toot his horn. But let me tell you something, I'm going to toot it for him. Mr. Brown is currently serving in the United States Army. Listen to me again. Mr. Brown is known as Chief Warrant Officer 5
4.
Brown. Now, you're probably thinking, what the hell does that mean? That means Mr. Brown knows his stuff. And he can be trusted because if your government can trust him, hell, you can trust him too. Because your information ain't as sensitive as the government's information. So now I'm going to put that out there because, like I said, Sam is a modest guy. But you should know that this is a military veteran and that he has them clearances where he can see stuff that if he told you or me about, he'd have to kill us. So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank Mr. Sam Brown for coming on and putting out some information that's going to be useful and helpful to you. He's giving you his information, so if you need to contact him, please don't hesitate. Anything else, Mr. Brown?
Make sure that you patch your systems, and then don't forget to patch your systems.
All
That's
right.
all.
Cousin, take us out of here.